Hi guys, my name is Grace Moser. I'm going to be your history professor this semester for History 102 Online. I just wanted to give you an introduction to myself so you could get to know me and so you could see my face in person because we're going to be interacting with each other online. Yes, I do have purple hair, so you get to see the color that it is as a result of this video. So let me just open this up and then I'll talk a little bit about myself. All right, so again, my name is Grace Moser. You guys can call me Grace or you can call me Professor Moser. Either one of those is fine. This is what I look like. So, in the first picture, you'll see me with my baby son. I have two 3-year-old boys, they're twins, and this is him when he was a baby. It's one of my favorite pictures. In the middle upper picture is me right before I gave a presentation at a conference. I was actually 28 weeks pregnant with the boys when I gave that presentation. I made it another 8 weeks without popping. In the picture to the right, you can see me dressed up in a Halloween costume. I think this picture demonstrates how much of a history dork I am. I dressed up as Babe Lincoln, and I actually gave lecture with that fake beard and hat on that day in class. It was pretty fun. And then the middle bottom picture is just my silly picture. I like to tell students that this is my grading face. Grading is probably one of my least favorite activities. I love the teaching, just don't like the grading very much. But I get it done every semester. This is my family. My husband's name is Jeff. We've been married since 2009, but we've been together since 2006. We have 3 little kids now, twin boys, Abe and Ollie, and we just had a new baby in April. Her name is Ramona Darling. So she's my new little baby girl that you can see there. I also have fur babies, which, by the way, you guys might see cats running around in the background here. And I apologize if you ever see them in my videos. I like to shoot my videos at home, so that's always a risk. We see Bart, he's my black cat. He's named after a pirate because he's blind in one eye, so he's Black Bart. Penny, who's actually named after the Beatles song Penny Lane. And then Jack. Jack is my grading buddy, and he's actually named after President John F. Kennedy. His nickname was Jack. So I guess you could call me a crazy cat lady. As far as my educational background goes, I actually am a product of a community college myself. I actually got my motivation to become a teacher because I had a really great history professor when I was in college. I had no idea I was this interested in history until I had him. I went to St. Louis Community College, and then after I left there, they actually hired me to come in and be a tutor in American history, and that's where I fell in love with history, especially teaching history at a community college. I graduated from the University of Missouri St. Louis. If some of you might be thinking about transferring there, you can come talk to me. I'd be happy to share my experience with you. I graduated from there in 2006, and then I went back there for their graduate school in history. And then I started teaching the summer of 2009 and started working at Flow Valley. And then I came to SCA in 2010 and got hired full time in 2011. So I've been teaching here full time ever since, and it is the best. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea about why I love history so that you can understand my approach to teaching history. Right, so one of my favorite things about history is that it's a study of change over time. So nothing that we experience, the bad things, are permanent, right? We've always seen change happen in governments, in rights and privileges. So that always makes me feel better when I see something that I don't especially like in a society, knowing that it can be changed. And usually it's ordinary people who are bringing about that change. So I really like to study what's called social history, which is the study of how ordinary people lived. So I'm not necessarily doing my research in presidents and in military history. I'm studying ordinary American individuals and how they interacted with the world around them. And the way that I like to teach history is I try to make it relevant. In one of the other videos, I'm going to be talking about other ways that you might have learned history that make it ineffective. It's just memorizing names and dates. I like to do a lot of connection to the present. So in my assignments, you will sometimes be asked to compare it to modern day and see the impact that what the past had on the present. So current events are a big part of how I teach. And again, we can be that change. So that's always really exciting to me. I'm very hopeful as a result of studying history. So I wanted to give you guys, be upfront with you to let you know that I do get complaints about my class sometimes. I actually don't have a great average on Rate My Professor. There's some students who didn't like me. And these ones are pretty similar in the complaints, which is that I hate America. Some people even told me I should move to France or Canada, which I had to say, they got some really great features for parents. So that is a little bit tempting for me in modern society, especially as a working mom. But I think these are important to talk about because they imply that because I teach some unpopular history. I teach some of the darker things that America has done. And that's because what I do is I don't just look at it from the perspective of white presidents, for example. When I look at history, we're going to consider multiple perspectives. So if you're a white person during the Great Depression, you really benefited as a result of those programs that were established by the New Deal. But minorities were sort of swept by the wayside. So if you're looking at the Great Depression and the New Deal from an African American perspective, you're left wanting. Or if you're looking at it from a Native American perspective, you're left wanting. So we're going to be looking at multiple perspectives in this class, and some of it is negative. And I just want to mention that it's not because I want you to think bad about the United States, or that that I'm trying to and distort history. I'm just merely presenting actual facts, like things that happen in our history. It's our history. We need to embrace it, because if you don't acknowledge it, then you can't work to change the things that you want to change. And looking at these different perspectives, it can put a lot of what we see is, in present day America as far as racial tensions into perspective. We can understand why those are happening. So, as a result of all this, I'm hoping that history will be meaningful to you guys, that it's not just a bunch of names and dates that you have to memorize, because history is not static. It does not happen in a box. It's not black and white. There's a lot of gray in our history. And I think we as a people get uncomfortable with the gray because we want a simple yes or no, right? Math problems have one answer a lot of times. But history is a lot about critical thinking, and it's about questioning. It's about questioning our beliefs, questioning our perspectives, looking at other ways of looking at things, right? And that's part of a liberal arts degree, which is what you guys are getting by going to SEC. It's taking the tools and techniques of other disciplines and using them to apply and understand the world around you, and also apply it to your own discipline. So even if history is not your major, I think that studying history this way is going to be really helpful, right? So instead of learning about a dry, boring past, we're going to make it more meaningful and connected to the things that are happening around us. So I just want to say good luck, and you guys, I hope we have a great semester, and I will see you guys later.